Hello, my name is Daisy Saragoussi. I've been planning to do a Devar Torah on empathy for several months now. My first Devar Torah ever. I've done research, looked up wise quotes and references from wise rabbis, and then came Yom Kippur. Rabbi Green delivered a brilliant sermon on radical empathy, and I thought, how do I follow that? I was just ready to say what he said and be done. But instead, I'll tell you my own story, starting with the definition of empathy. Recognizing and understanding an other's pain, being in someone else's shoes, and the ability to perceive what another person is feeling or thinking and responding to it without judgment, perhaps because you too have experienced it. You're having a knee replacement. Oh, I feel your pain. I've had two. A more well-known quote, "You shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the feelings of the stranger, having yourselves been strangers in the land of Egypt." Exodus 23. On October 12, 1967, my parents, my brother, and I became citizens of the United States of America. Standing proudly in court in Brooklyn, New York, in our finest clothes, we pledged our allegiance to this country and renounced our country of origin because we came here for a better life, because this country stood for freedom of democratic ideals. You see, in 1943, my father's family, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, everybody was rounded up in Kavala along with thousands of other Jews and transported to Treblinka. My father, young and strong, was sent to Bulgaria to a forced labor camp. This because they were all Jewish. My father survived. None of his family did. 4 Jews returned to Kavala, those from the labor camp. After the liberation, he was taken in lovingly by a non-Jewish family. Empathy. My mother's family survived by hiding in the mountains of Greece with the help of local villagers who supplied them with food and other necessities. My mother came to Boulder a few years ago during high holidays, and I told her we'd be having services in a church. Did she mind? Her response surprised me. "The church? I love the church," she said. "The church saved my life. When we were hiding in the mountains, the villagers warned us that the Germans were coming and told us to quickly come into the church, a little church on the hilltop. The family was spread out amongst the villagers, and when the doors burst open, she remembered I was crossing myself while in my mind I was saying, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad." Do you know why I support Black Lives Matter? Because during World War II, Jewish lives mattered. The righteous and empathetic people of the world stood up and said, "We don't agree with these laws and we won't follow them." Fortunately, there were not more than 6 million Jews' lives lost, among others. Yad Vashem in Israel is a testament to the empathetic human beings who chose not to follow the unjust laws. Empathy. If Black lives don't matter, then Jewish lives don't matter. If Black lives don't matter, then no lives matter. In 1955, my family emigrated to America with the help of HIAS, Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. Their mission, welcome the stranger and protect the refugee. HIAS stands for a world in which refugees find a welcome, safety, and freedom. Recently, HIAS was criticized for helping non-Jewish refugees, even Muslim refugees. And their response? We used to help refugees because they were Jewish. Now we help refugees because we are Jewish. Empathy. Do you know why I support refugee and immigrant advocacy? Because I am deeply pained by the immigration atrocities and human rights abuses in this land of opportunity. Because you shall not oppress the stranger, having yourselves been strangers. Lastly, we celebrated the 8 days of Sukkot recently. We recalled the temporary, flimsy huts, the Sukkot, that our ancestors lived in while wandering in the desert after the exodus from Egypt. Sukkot reminds us not just about our communal history, but also about offering empathy and support to those who are at most risk today, those whose shelter is most precarious, the vulnerable among us, because they need our help and protection, and perhaps we need to bring attention to the homelessness crisis. If we listen from the heart and care enough, we can find and grow our ability to empathize. Thank you.